In the world of rock and soul, the name Turner is legendary. It's a name synonymous with explosive talent, unimaginable triumph, and a story of survival that captivated the world. But behind the blazing spotlight and the history-making career of Tina Turner was a family, a legacy, and a pain that often played out behind closed doors. Today, we're discussing a heartbreaking and poignant chapter in that legacy. Ike Turner Jr., the eldest son of the tumultuous duo Ike and Tina Turner, has died at the age of 67, and in a twist of fate that feels almost cinematic in its tragedy, he passed away just one single day after celebrating his birthday. This isn't just a news headline, guys. This is the story of a man who lived his entire life in the shadow of one of music's most complicated and explosive legacies. A man who was both a product of that world and a quiet testament to its lasting echoes. Buckle up, because we're diving deep. The news was confirmed by sources close to the family, sending ripples through the music community. Ike Turner Jr. was born in 1958. Right as his father, Ike Turner was becoming a formidable force in the music industry. Think about the Hollywood lifestyle of the late 50s and 60s. It was a world of rock and roll excess, but also of rigid studio systems and fierce competition. Ike Jr. didn't just watch this world from the sidelines, he was born into it. And by the time he was a teenager, he was thrust directly into the fire. He, along with his half-brother, Michael, became part of the iconic Ike and Tina Turner Revue, not just as sons, but as musicians. That's right. Ike Turner Jr. was a keyboardist and a background vocalist for the group during its peak years. Imagine that for a second. While the world watched his stepmother, Tina, become a superstar on stage, he was right there in the background, witnessing the magic, the chaos, and the infamous turmoil between his father and Tina firsthand. He wasn't just reading about it in a biography, he was living it. This is a fascinating and often overlooked part of celebrity life, the children who are part of the family business, especially when that business is as volatile as the Ike and Tina Turner Revue. He had a front row seat to music history, but that seat came with a heavy price. To understand Ike Turner Jr.'s life, we have to revisit the epic's, almost Shakespearean saga of his parents. In the beginning, it was pure magic. Ike Turner was a visionary, a talented musician and producer who discovered Anna Mae Bullock and crafted her into the global phenomenon known as Tina Turner. Their sound was raw, their energy was unmatched. They were the must-see live act of their era. The Hollywood lifestyle they embodied was one of fierce work ethic and dazzling success. They had hits, they had money, they had fame. But behind the sequins and the smiles was a dark reality. Tina's 1986 autobiography, I, Tina, and later the Oscar-nominated film What's Love Got to Do With It, pulled back the curtain on the horrific physical and emotional abuse she suffered at the hands of Ike Turner. It forever changed Ike's legacy, painting him as a villain in the public eye. Now here's where Ike Turner Jr.'s perspective becomes absolutely crucial. In various interviews over the years, he never denied the abuse, but he offered a more nuanced, complicated picture of his father. He acknowledged Ike's demons, his drug abuse, and his violent temper. But he also spoke of a man who was a musical genius, a father who, in his own flawed way, loved his family. He once said, and I'm paraphrasing, that the monster portrayed in the media wasn't the only version of the man he knew. This is the burden of the celebrity child, to carry the weight of a public narrative that often simplifies the complex, messy people their parents truly were. He was forever caught between defending his father's legacy and acknowledging his father's victims, one of whom was the woman the world adored, his stepmother, Tina. After the Revue disbanded and his parents' marriage imploded, Ike Turner Jr. largely stepped away from the spotlight. Unlike so many celebrity offspring who cling to fame, he chose a different path. He continued to work in music, but out of the public eye. He lived with the memories, the trauma, and the complexity of his upbringing, and that brings us to the most haunting detail of this story, the timing of his passing. He died at 67, just one day after his birthday. In the world of celebrity news and dramatic stories, a detail like this hits differently. It feels symbolic, almost like a final, heartbreaking punctuation mark on a life that was so deeply intertwined with the highs and lows of his famous family. It makes you wonder about the man behind the name. What were his final thoughts? What were the unresolved chapters of his life? He witnessed the creation of some of music's greatest hits, and he witnessed one of its most tragic personal stories. He was a living bridge between Ike Turner the brilliant innovator, and Ike Turner, the abusive husband, between Tina Turner, the victim, and Tina Turner, the ultimate survivor. The story of Ike Turner Jr. is a reminder that behind every headline, every legendary star, and every scandal, there are real people with real complicated lives. He was more than just Ike and Tina's son. He was a musician, a witness, and a man who carried a heavy legacy his entire life. His passing is a moment to reflect not just on the dramatic saga of the Turner family, but on the quiet struggles of those who live in the shadow of giants. It's a story of music, memory, and the long echoes of a complicated past. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this deep dive into Hollywood's most compelling stories insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on the legacy of the Turner family. Stay tuned for more updates from the world of celebrity and entertainment. Until next time, take care.